What's going on YouTube? Slimmer6 here with another video. And in this video, I'm going to be giving my thoughts, my opinion, my perspective on the Asus ROG Ally and why it's one of the more ideal handheld gaming devices for 2024 going into 2025. Now, you might be in the market for a new gaming system. You might be looking at the Xbox Series X. You might be looking at the PS5. You might want a powerful console. Now you might be thinking about the Nintendo Switch because you need something that's portable. Or you might want a gaming PC because you want a machine that can handle everything that you throw at it. Now what if I told you that the Asus ROG Ally can do all of that? What if I told you that the Asus ROG Ally could handle anything that you throw at it? What if I told you that the Asus ROG Ally is the all-in-one stop for gaming in 2024? Now look, this is my ROG Ally right here. And on the screen, I got Forza Horizon 4 running. Now that's a game that you normally would see running on the Xbox Series X or Xbox One or something like that. I'm playing that game on a system right here, no larger than the Nintendo Switch in the hands. And similar to the Nintendo Switch, you could dock your ROG Ally. You could also play it in display mode. Also, the ROG Ally doubles as a Windows computer. So let's just say that you're in the market for a computer, not because you need it for work or because of the fact that you need it for school, but you need a computer to just do basic things from here and here and there, right? You want to check emails, you want to go on YouTube. This is my Asus ROG Ally. We're going to go ahead and get out of Forza. We're going to escape, hit the X button, minimize Xbox, minimize Steam. You can go right here. Microsoft, I was just on YouTube and I'm on YouTube. Boom. I got YouTube pulled up on my Asus ROG Ally. Right? It doubles as a Windows PC. I have a $20 Logitech keyboard with the trackpad right here. You know what I'm saying? I've never been a mouse and keyboard type of gamer ever in my life. So a $20 keyboard for me suffices. And this is what I use to install games or move files around or do necessary tasks that I got to do through Windows. But the Asus ROG Ally, it doubles as a Windows computer. Now, when I want to actually play the game, I go ahead and grab my Xbox controller, press a little X in the middle, turn that on, go over here to my Asus ROG Ally. I gotta quit saying that, Asus ROG Ally. You could play any game that you want. If I go to my Steam library, I could play whatever I want to play that I have downloaded, that I have purchased right here in desktop mode. Now, I'm gonna get into some of my pros and cons, but let's just say I want to play a graphically intensive game like Cyberpunk. I could play Cyberpunk. Let's say I want to play Madden or 2K. I could play those games on the Asus ROG Ally. Let's say that I want to play, let's say I want to emulate some games like Pokemon, Zelda, Dragon Ball Z. I could download the emulators and play games from my past classics. As you can see, I got Cyberpunk loading up in the background. You feel me? And I just realized that the ink for Cyberpunk is similar to the Purple Rain. So basically, with the ROG Ally, you could do pretty much anything that you want to do. I also use it as a file manager when I'm moving files about to mod my Nintendo 3DS consoles. You know what I'm saying? I have it docked, and the dock also has 2 or 3 additional USB ports to where you could add a mouse, a keyboard, an additional controller, whatever it is that you want to do. It's possible with the Asus ROG Ally. There's 3 SKUs to the ROG Ally. You have the ROG Ally Z1, which is what I have right here. And then you also have the ROG Ally Z1 Extreme, which will pretty much be able to handle anything that you throw at it. And you also have the Asus ROG Ally X. which is a more powerful version of the Z1 Extreme with a little bit more memory and some more refinements, as well as the fact that it's a different paint job. It's a black unit instead of a white shell on the outside. Now, the reason why I feel like the Asus ROG Ally is an excellent device is because of the fact that the possibilities are limitless. For example, you could use a controller like this, you could use a controller like this, or you could use a controller like this. You can even use a controller like this. So it's like, no matter what controller you want to play your games with, you could use either of these controllers. Either of these controllers you could use, or you could use a Nintendo Switch Pro controller. It's all going to work. No matter what keyboard you get, it's all going to work because of the fact that it is a PC at the end of the day, right? Now, when it comes to the games that you're playing, you could play Cyberpunk, you could play Forza, you know what I'm saying? You could play first-party shooters, you could play first-person titles. It's whatever that you want to do. Whatever it is that you want to do with the Asus ROG Ally, you could do that. So that being said, the fact that it's a Windows device means that your possibilities are endless, but at the same time, it's going to be certain hiccups and certain complications that come with just using a Windows device that's a handheld. And to Windows or whoever makes the OS for these systems, the ROG Ally, MSI, Claw, and the Legion Go, I believe, I feel like they need to create a dedicated user interface for these handheld gaming systems, because the fact that it has Windows is a blessing, but the fact that it's running Windows in the same format that it would be at your workplace or at school, it doesn't really make sense because the screen is so little, and if I don't have this docked, things look crazy. It gets crazy. You feel me? So if I pull this off, and let's just say I want to close Forza. Let's just say I want to close Forza, right? It's just crazy. Like, look, I'm trying to hit X. Now, everything on the screen is very sharp and very beautiful. Don't get me confused, you know what I'm saying? But you're looking at Windows right here. That's what you're looking at. You're looking at Windows, guys. Let it focus. You're looking at Windows right here. And to me, even though it's cool that you have Windows on a device this little, I don't think it makes a lot of sense. So, but again, like, let's say I want to travel. Let's say I have a long flight and this is the device that I want to bring with me. One of the drawbacks with this is the fact that the battery life, you're only going to get about 2 hours of battery life with this, especially if you're playing Cyberpunk. You're probably going to get an hour and a half. If you're playing Forza, you're probably going to get an hour and a half to 2 hours. Now, let's say that you want to do something much lighter on here. What you could do to get more battery life, and not for those games that you want to play, but let's just say you wanted to play a Game Boy Advance game. Now you can get into 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours of gameplay. You feel me? So let me see if I could go ahead and open up Steam on here. If you go to Steam, and like I said, it's very hard to use things. It's very hard to open up things just in your hand. It's very difficult. And that's why I recommend going ahead and just docking this. And let's just say I want to open up a Game Boy Advance game. So you can see you got GBA emulators on here. Let me tap the screen so it can focus. Right? Let's just say I want to click on that Game Boy Advance and then focus again. Don't focus on me. Hit that play button. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're playing a Game Boy Advance game, you'll get a lot more runtime. But now look, I've opened up Game Boy Advance and it's asking me to go pick up file. And look, this is Windows 98 on a handheld. Focus, focus, focus. That's Windows 98 on a handheld, gang. And to me, that's the part where I don't like it. So let me just load up a ROM and get that fired up so y'all can see. with this in the hand, it's a nightmare just trying to pick out games. It's a nightmare, I promise you. But let's just say I want to play Dragon Ball Z Supersonic Warriors. It could do it. And you'll probably get a lot more, you're probably going to get a lot more playing time doing stuff like this. You're playing Game Boy Advance games. You're playing Game Boy Advance games on the ROG Ally. So let me go ahead and put this back into dock mode. Alright, so look. As you can see, you could do whatever that you want to do with the Asus ROG Ally. You could play your Game Boy Advance games. You could play your Nintendo DS games, PSP games, whatever have you. The things that I like about the Asus ROG Ally is that it's very customizable. You could play games on your Xbox controller, Nintendo Switch controller, Nintendo Switch Pro controller, PlayStation 5 controller, whatever you want to do, you could do that. Full options are available. You have a full array of options that are available to you when it comes to customization, when it comes to what is possible. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's a great device. Some of the drawbacks are the fact that Windows kind of makes it to where you might have certain hiccups when trying to launch certain games, or you might have issues when you're trying to run certain titles, whether it's the settings or whether it's the fact that this title just isn't compatible with this configuration of a device. But outside of that, I feel like the ROG Ally is a great device that can run games about 30 to 40 frames per second. Cyberpunk runs at like 30 frames on here. One thing that is surprising about the ROG Ally is the fact that the Ally runs Cyberpunk surprisingly well. Let me just start recording right here. Let's just say I want to do Cyberpunk and I want to play that. The ROG Ally does a great job running Cyberpunk compared to a lot of other stuff. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. Cyberpunk is generally a pretty heavy title. The ROG Ally runs Cyberpunk like a champ. Now, when it comes to running Forza, I have issues sometimes with Forza, which is certain drops in frame rate, freezing and all that. Mind you, it's not the ROG Ally X or the Z1 Extreme. This is the most basic model. And I just purchased this out of sheer availability. Now, I do have a ROG Ally X that I am going to be unboxing on the channel and doing a comparison for. But for the most part, I haven't really found a reason to unbox it yet because this ROG Ally handles everything that I throw at it and it plays Cyberpunk good enough. When I'm done with my current playthrough of Legends Arceus, I will be going live playing Cyberpunk on the channel. But if you go ahead over here and press play and launch that, Cyberpunk is beautiful on the Asus ROG Ally. I use the Xbox 360 controller. And I play Cyberpunk, you know what I'm saying? Or if it's Forza Horizons, whatever, like it can handle whatever you want to throw at it. If you're playing an emulated game, you're trying to play Pokemon, you're trying to play Zelda, Mario, whatever, like you could do that. There's nothing to stop you.